invocation will be given by Pastor Wally. Is it Schwartz?
She's not here. She worked.
She's not here.
Okay.
Man, we are over 3. We're
For 3.
Well, we had Mr. Schwartz here from New Dawn Fellowship. So I'm going to, Ron told somebody we want to lead us in worship. Councilman Haney's ready to go.
All right, let's do it.
Councilman Haney, you want to go ahead and lead the prayer?
Sure.
Anybody wishing to join us for a moment of prayer, can do so by standing up on the Then the Texas Fed will be led by
Blessings of thy counsel, Father. All decisions, Father, go through you first, Lord God. God, we thank you for this day, Lord God. We thank you for the blessings over this council, Father, that all decisions, Father, go through you first, Lord God, before they are made up here, Lord God. We thank you, Father, for everyone that is here tonight, Father. We pray for protection over them on their way home tonight, Father, and bless their families, Father, and bless everyone in this city, Lord God, that is lost out there, Father. We're just asking, Father, for guidance for them, Father, and to find them a place, Father, where your word shines, Father. And we say, Father, thank you for this day, this evening, Father, of blessings over the council. And we just say thank you again, Father, in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Sorry. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
City of Odessa would like to proclaim. Whereas according to the National Safety Council, over 40,000 people died last year. City of Odessa would like to proclaim. Related crashes. Whereas according to the National Safety Council, over 40,000 people died last year in alcohol. Related crashes throughout this nation. Whereas this year, the Odessa Police Department has investigated 3,122 crashes, including 11 fatal crashes, and has had 551 DWI-related offenses. And whereas driving intoxicated in alcohol or a substance other than alcohol can have a very serious consequence. Driving while intoxicated can greatly affect your ability to see and hear, diminish your attention span, greatly reduce your problem-solving skills, and compromise your decision-making abilities. Whereas the best enforcement relies upon the safety and discipline of our citizens and those that visit our city for business and entertainment. The public can lower a number of alcohol-related crashes in Odessa by being smart about after having an alcoholic beverage to drink. Now, therefore, I, Javier Joven, by the virtue of authority vested in me as the mayor of this great city of Odessa, Texas, do hereby proclaim December 2023 as National Drunk and Drug Driving Prevention Month. So throughout the city of Odessa, we want to urge all citizens to comply with the laws and safety of each of our citizens, and please to enjoy this holiday season, especially those of our loved ones. We're going into the Christmas time and New Year's, and this is where we see our numbers go up. So we're just asking for awareness to be responsible through our city, even when visiting our city. Thank you. So we're coming on a special moment. So yes, we always see graduations in May, but we're coming on a special moment in December. Yes, we always see graduations in May, but we also have graduations in December. We're seeing a lot of graduates, and so I want to be able to bring light to something which I think is needs attention. So we have a lot. So we're seeing a lot of graduates. I think there was a ring ceremony at UTBB a couple of days ago. So we have a lot of success stories, and we have one of our own. And so I want to be able to bring up a young lady and give her this special moment of recognition for her dedication in school. I want to bring her up. This is Yvette McClure. You want to bring up your grandparents? And I'm also going to put our city secretary on the spot. Tell her to
Take
come
your time.
and join her daughter and her parents. And I'm also going to put our city secretary on the spot. Tell her to come and join her daughter and her parents. Okay. Well, 26 years old, Ms. McClure wound up becoming our city secretary.
Okay.
She's been in that role for quite some time. Well, 26 years old, Ms. McClure wound up becoming our city secretary, and she's been in that role for quite some time. Saw this young lady grow up. She went to school, and she was in a lot of activities. She was in the I think it was the dance team. She does that. She went on to the University of Permian Basin, and she's on that dance team. She does that. She does on the dance team full time. I think if she decides to stay on the team, they're going to go to nationals. Takes a full-time job and then volunteers extensively throughout her youth because mom's involved, so are the kids. So she's done from movies to Night Under the Stars, everything she's done there. But one of the things that's going to happen in a couple of days, in 3 days, she's graduating from UTPB with an engineering degree. Full-time schedule, over 12 hours, on time, working full-time, volunteering, and also on the dance team. Those are incredible accomplishments. She has taken that workload, and she has never, ever failed. I want to be able to highlight this incredible accomplishment. We're going to present her with a certificate of City of Odessa, certificate of appreciation, presented to Yvette McClure for her outstanding dedication, steadfast, and hard work in obtaining her Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Texas at the Permian Basin, December 12, 2023. Let's give her a round of applause and congratulations. And she's going to bless us. First time we're going to ever, she's going to do a speech, so it's exciting. And I think, let me tell you one thing, Mom had a great time typing this up.
I just want to thank you guys, Mayor, my mom, my grandparents. They supported me throughout these 4.5 years of college. No matter what, we made it through, Mom. Even with working, both of us working 2 jobs, both of us doing whatever we need to do to make sure we get there. Yeah, I'm all right there behind you.
So I remember Yvette and Marks, there was a few times that I had to bring them to city council meetings. Yes. So I remember Yvette and Marks, there was a few times that I had to bring them to city council meeting because I didn't have a place to have them. They were maybe in their elementary years. Come on, kids, you're gonna sit at the back, you're gonna do your coloring books while I do my council meeting. Were they up here? No. Where did they wanted to go? They wanted to stay in my office. So I had building services kind of check up on them while I was up at council meeting. When I went back down, I had this, my office was full of artwork with their painting. So that was pretty cool. And now, fast forward, fast track, cried all the way home after I left you at the dorm. She started first year at San Angelo State. First year, cried all the way home. We made it through that. She did she finished up during the COVID year. And then the day I was supposed to take her back for her second year as a junior, she tells me the night before, Mom, I don't want to go back. I want to stay here. It's like, you tell me the day before. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so.
I already dropped out before I told her.
Yes, I didn't know that.
There you go.
I wasn't sure if they were going to let me into UTPB because it was the week before class.
Yes, so immediately we had her registered at UTPB, and of course, bittersweet. It was great. I got to have her home, and during all this time that she had her work, she never stopped. She continued to persevere. I acknowledge your perseverance. Of course, she did dance, her two jobs, and of course her social life. Her social life never was always a part of her college years. So I'm just proud of you. Just remember, if there's no opportunity at the door, you build that door. you build that door, and I can't wait for your next accomplishments, and it's only gonna be nothing but success. And I'm proud of you, and I love you.
Remember, the city is hiring. Citizens' comments on non-agenda items. Any member of the public may address the city council regarding any of its agenda items before. Citizens' comments on non-agenda items. Any member of the public may address the city council regarding any of its agenda items before or during the consideration of said item. Any member of the citizens wanting to make a non-agenda comments on non-agenda items can do so by coming forward and filling out a card. Remind council that any non-agenda item comments cannot be responded to, but can direct staff in addressing those comments or questions or issues. I'm going to ask the council to overlook the consent agenda as presented, and I will entertain a motion for approval or amend
Mayor,
as
so moved.
presented.
So moved.
I have a motion for Council Mark Mata to approve the consent agenda as proposed, second by Councilmember Cornell. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Consent agenda is passed as presented. We're going to move on to the regular agenda. Item 7, consider approval of the CVS Caremark for Pharmacy Benefit Manager Broker under Risk Strategies. Ms. Griffin.
Before she gets started,
You got several, so we're just gonna let you roll right through. You wanna go ahead and throw that around? I apologize, I didn't do that.
before she gets started, remember, y'all just met her a couple weeks ago. And she's got the full agenda tonight.
She does. It's
She
the,
does.
it's the
She's
Miss
done
Griffin
it.
show tonight.
Miss Gri-
She's
yes.
done a great job to really dive into this,
My
and
agenda may
we
be
really
a
appreciate
little
it.
out of order, so my agenda may be. Good evening, everybody.
Make sure that the microphone's turned on. Yeah,
My
there you go.
agenda may be a little out of order, different from yours, and so you have the
Thank you very much.
CVS, you said?
We have
Yes,
CVS Caremark as the first one.
Okay. Thank you very much. So,
This is to consider.
yes,
Yes.
so,
Pharmacy benefit
Yes, she'll go
manager,
around.
which is under
Yeah.
risk strategies, which is.
okay.
one
So
of
this
our,
is to consider the pharmacy benefit manager, which is under risk strategies, which is one of our approved
brokers that we work with.
Thank you very much.
And I'd like to explain
Thank
a
you.
little bit more about.
Which is one of our
CVS
approved
relationship,
brokers that we work with.
We've actually.
And I'd like to explain a little bit more about
Wellness
the CVS relationship,
is
because
bringing CVS
we've
to
actually
market
contracted with
to us. So
WellNet,
I had a little
who
concern because I'm
is
sure
bringing CVS Caremark as the PBM to us. And so I had a little concern because I'm sure, like you've been reading or hearing on the news that CVS is closing a lot of its stores. And under WellNet, it brings to us actually over 60,000 pharmacies under its umbrella. So there is quite a bit of access to pharmacies. But that wasn't the way it was initially communicated. So one of the things that we're working on is a new messaging brochure that will be going out soon to everyone, including retirees, to help them understand how the new pharmacy program will work, what's available to them, providing examples of how the pharmacy will actually work. And that will actually be available really, really soon. So we're working diligently to get that material together. So while we have been promoting CVS Caremark because they're the biggest pharmacy formulary that's a part of that network, there are quite a few formularies that are included as a part of that program. And there's quite a bit of savings that's included as well. Are there any questions?
Council, any questions?
It's just that Caremark is the biggest.
So under the
one
WellNet, there's
that's,
other
wellness
pharmacies that are under
And
that
WellNet
umbrella
is the
besides just
TPA, so
CVS?
they're the
Yes.
administrator. It's just that Caremark is the biggest one that's WellNet's partner. And WellNet is the TPA, so they're the administrator that works with Caremark. And we don't pay WellNet. WellNet gets paid by Caremark.
Okay, very good.
So,
So,
Ms. Griffin, you're gonna put this out for bid, correct?
so this
The
was
PBM?
done actually, so,
Or are you gonna have strategies do it?
So this was done actually, I want to say back in like October, September.
Okay,
And it was done under Risk Strategies. And from what I understand, it was a very informal process. Risk Strategies. So I want to be transparent.
right.
Risk Strategies did not do a formal RFP. They contacted two of their business partners that they were very familiar with and felt had a really good status in the market, which is WellNet and Prescriptive RX. And then they recommended WellNet to the city.
About, it concerns me. Okay, because the PBMs are notoriously, this is something I do know something about. It concerns me because the PBMs are notoriously, I'll try to say it nicely. There's a lot of hidden cost, especially in the rebate area. And I know for a fact that every time I shopped a PBM for one of my publicly traded companies, there's a lot of players out there. It's not only the pharmacy network, it's the cost of the drugs. And and I know you know this, just council's edification, rebates are huge. My largest client had $50 million a year spent in drugs. The rebates on that was $5 million, and that can go back to the broker, the consultant, to the client, wherever you want to redirect it. So I suggest probably the way they're paying Wellmark is through those rebates. I don't know that, but that's something we really need to get clear. That makes a huge difference. $5 million rebate on a $50 million plan. You give it back to the client, it cuts their cost down to $45 million. So ours isn't quite that big, but it's still a pretty big spend. And we need to get in the best end. There's lots of good choices out there.
Yes. So one of the differences with WellNet is a third-party administrator as opposed to a broker. So that makes it a little bit different. And they have every bit of an incentive to, because this is how they get paid, of course, right? So they have a big incentive to present to Caremark strategies for cost savings. And so they've been in the market for around 30 years. This is a big part of their business, and I'm assuming this is why Risk Strategies proposed them to the city. And you generally, and you know yourself, Mrs. Thompson, generally rebates are not guaranteed.
No, I know.
And I haven't seen the contract yet, so, okay. So I'm waiting on the contract, but what we have been told and what I have in writing from them only by email is that those rebates are guaranteed to us. So what I've presented to you is guaranteed, those savings.
My only concern with that, it's a third party. There's a lot of players. We're using a lot of players, and we always went direct.
I understand.
Yeah, I always went direct to Blue Cross,
And I've had
CVS,
that conversation with Risk
MetLife,
Strategies
whoever.
because I understand.
PBM. So that's my only concern.
I
Lots of moving
understand.
pieces here.
And I've had that conversation with Risk Strategies because our agreement with them states that they should have done an RFP.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to know.
Thank you.
I think the sooner you can get that done, the better you're going to be.
Thank you.
Council, any other questions or discussion? Okay. This is for consideration for approval. Council, is there any motion for approval on item 7 as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Vasquez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. We're going to move on to item 8. Consider renewal of vision benefits provided by MetLife. Ms. Griffin?
Okay. Okay, so revision, there are
The
no
MetLife
changes
is
whatsoever. The premiums stay the same.
for
Vision.
Vision. Okay, so revision, there are no changes whatsoever. The premiums stay the same.
Second by Councilmember Mata. Easy enough. Council, any questions?
Move approval.
Have a motion by Councilmember Thompson for
Second.
approval for item 8, second by Councilmember Mata. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. We're gonna move on to item 9, consider approval of the American Public Life Insurance Company, APL. Ms. Griffin?
Okay, so these are what we consider the voluntary work site offerings. They are accident, critical illness, short-term disability, hospital indemnity, and a term life plan. I can't necessarily say why we switched to APL. When I looked at the comparison, there wasn't much difference, but we have made the decision to switch.
Who was it with before?
Pardon?
I'm sorry, who was it with before?
It was with Allstate before.
I didn't know that.
Council, any questions? Do I have a motion for approval on item 9?
so moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Swann. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Haney. All in favor indicating by saying aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to item 10. Consider the recommended adoption of the revisions to the Family Health Project effective January 1, 2024 as applicable. Ms. Griffin?
I'm sorry. Not
You're
recommending
good.
any.
This is for the.
Okay, so this is for the Family Health Project. There are some and we are not recommending any changes necessarily, but there are some regulated mandates that I need to share with you and some requirements. So
Regarding the way that we pay claims that we need to update.
first
in,
is
our plan document.
regarding the way that we pay claims that we need to update in our plan document, and that you have, that I shared regarding just the fee schedule that we'll pay according to Medicare, and that's just been in the way that we stated in the plan document, that we pay according to the Medicare fee schedule, which is pretty low. So we have work to do, of course.
One of the big initiatives going into the new year would be is that.
So when you say you have work to do, can you explain that?
So one of the big initiatives going into the new year would be is that I will be looking at the health plan and seeing what modifications we can make. And that's not, of course, included on your schedule right now.
Okay. And I'd also like to see, going into the next year, just for FYI, I've always had a little bit of a problem. Your predecessor and I probably disagreed on this a lot, but I need to see I'd like to see what's the cost is on the we're paying our own claims. I think that's a conflict of interest. I've always felt that way. I told Daryl that when he was here. It's hard for somebody, one of your coworkers, to deny your claim, and sometimes it might not be impartial. So
Okay.
the cost of that versus going to an outside third party and get some transparency in between is just one of my thoughts. So but it's something, I've got a whole year to worry about it, but it's always concerned me.
Just
So,
sharing the out-of-pocket maximums.
Definitely, I'll be back before you.
yeah, that's great.
The next item, I'm just sharing the out-of-pocket maximums.
Hold on,
There's-
let's go ahead and take action on item 9. Council, do we have any other questions on the consideration of approval of the American Public Life
I
Insurance?
think it's item 10, Mayor.
Item 10, I'm sorry. For the adoption of the family health.
There is a.
So moved.
I have a motion by Council. Do you have anything else to share on that?
I do actually,
I'm sorry, go
because there is a regulation that's called the No Surprises Act. And it requires that we add some additional information on our medical cards. So we have to, we have to print some information on our medical cards. And in addition, we have to contract for what's called a transparency tool. And that tool requires that we put a lot of information in this tool that allows for participants to be able to actually do some cost comparison of found. And so if it's, and this tool is going to be pretty costly from what we've found, and so it may be anywhere from $10,000 to $24,000.
This is mandated?
It's mandated, yes.
Council, any questions? City Manager, you got, staff will get together with finance and look for that money? Okay. Council, any questions? Do you have anything else on this item, item 10?
No.
Just a matter of interest. One of our neighboring representatives has been pushing this for years. It's a good thing for the
Council, if there
consumer.
are no questions, I'll
It's
consider
just been a great thing
motion
for my
for item
pocket.
10 for approval. Council, if there are no questions, I'll consider a motion for item 10 for approval. So moved. A motion by Councilmember Thompson, have a second? Second by Councilmember Mata. All in favor indicating by saying aye. Aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. We're gonna move on to item 11. Consider approval of the BB administration owned by Risk Strategies as flexible dependent daycare spending account. Ms. Griffin?
Okay, so BBP, we are asking to adopt them as the new administrator because the previous administrator let us know that they would no longer be offering those services. In addition to that, the enrollment for new hires for FSA and the dependent care, there has been a waiting period of 1 year. And the reason that I understand is that this is what I was told, is that the city felt that they didn't want to lose money if the employee left before the 1 year. But the rules don't change. Even if you enroll a year later, the rules are still the same. And the industry standard is to align it with the health plan enrollment. So I would hope that the approval would allow us to make that change.
They're actually, I think, owned actually by Risk Strategies.
Their official name, they're actually, I think, owned actually by Risk Strategies. My paperwork is out of order, but I can tell you their official name.
And that's okay. I mean, I just thought you had it ready and handy.
Right, but they're actually a little division under.
We Texans are the worst about acronyms.
I know it, right? But they're actually a little division under. I'll get it to you. It's I have it here, but I've just got my paperwork out of
You have anything else to add? Well, if you can get that to Mr.
I'll get that to you.
That'd be great.
I'll get it to you. It's
No problem.
I have it here, but I've
Ms.
just
Griffin,
got
is
my
anything,
paperwork out of
you have anything else to add on item 11?
No.
Okay. Council, do you have any questions? If not, I will consider a motion for approval.
So
I
moved.
have a motion by Councilmember Vasquez to approve item 11 as presented. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Haney. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. We're gonna move on to item 12. Consider renewal of contract for broker to support consult for pharmacy benefit services. Ms. Griffin.
And this is Risk Strategies. Their contract is dated 2018. And so we will need to decide if we are going to renew that contract. And so This is just a matter of cleanup.
Strategies gets
So,
paid is.
what are they charging
We
us?
don't pay them directly, they get
What are they
paid off
charging
of
us?
the contracts that.
So the
Tom?
way that Risk Strategies gets paid is we don't pay them directly. They get paid off of the contracts that they actually bring to us. And so for the reinsurance contract, they get paid $4 per employee, per member enrolled. That's for the single, and then $7 for family. For vision is 18% of the premiums. For the prescription is $3 per script. And then for the life insurance is 3% of the premiums.
That's a lot of moving parts. I think we ought to be on.
In the renewal, I would ask that,
For all coverages.
that's a lot of moving parts.
They have an incentive.
I think they ought to be
In other words, my
on
problem
a
with it
per
is
head per month
the reason
basis
the last
for all
25 years
coverages they
my
provide.
business did
That
everything
way they have an
with
incentive to give us,
That
in
way,
other words, my problem with it is, and the reason for the last 25 years of my business, I did everything on a fee for basis.
3% or 20%
That way, we get a rate increase,
that much of a
and
raise
like
every year.
Mayor knows, you get rate increases every year, it seems like.
My opinion, to go
Well, that 3% or 20%
ahead,
gives that broker that much of a raise every year too.
negotiate that.
So that's why it's good, in my opinion, to go on a per employee, per head, per month for all coverages, and negotiate that. That's the way I would want, that's the way I'd like to see it negotiated, and get rid of all
Stop-loss insurance.
compensation. Because the commission compensation,
And
as
also
rates
to
go
give
up,
you an idea, just
they
for
get-
the
their fees go up, and that stop-loss insurance is
insurance
expensive.
that, for the year.
What they're getting paid off of that's pretty high.
$77,000.
And also to give you an idea, just for the stop loss insurance, they, for the year, they get $77,000.
Like performance or KPIs
We just need to
attached
probably review the model altogether anyway, because we don't have like performance or KPIs attached to the work that they're doing.
And you'll be doing that through the next 12 months?
Yeah.
Ms. Griffin, what was the cost per family? I got per employee. What was the one on family? Seven. Is it 7?
Yes, sir.
$750.
Okay. Council, any other questions on item 13? Council, any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Anything else you want to add? Council, any other questions on item 13? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
Item 12.
12? Yeah, you're right, 12, I'm sorry. Yeah, any other questions or, for item 13, 12? If not, entertain a motion for item 12.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Cornell. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Councilmember Swanner. All in favor indicating by saying aye. Aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Now we're moving on to item 13.
13, yeah.
Consider renewal of group basic voluntary life AD&D coverage for retired life insurance and
So,
standard insurance
This is
company.
just the renewal for.
Everybody's on their toes because it's cold in here, isn't it?
We decided to stay with standard this.
So this is just the renewal for standard.
The standard.
We decided to stay with standard. This program was sent out for RFP, but we actually decided to stay with the standard.
It was just better to just.
We
stay with this
looked at the
and just work with the standard.
proposal response from MetLife, but it was just better to just stay with this particular program and just work with the standard for some of the issues we think we have.
Maybe through our rate.
Council, any questions?
2-year rate guarantee, right?
Pardon?
2-year rate guarantee,
They're pretty good at that.
Yes,
and we were on a 3. Now we're-
maybe through our rate, maybe,
Huh?
maybe,
Maybe?
yeah.
They're pretty good at that.
Council, any questions? Entertain a motion to approve item 13 as presented. I have a motion by Councilmember Haney, second by Councilmember Mata. All in favor indicating by saying aye. Aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Move on to item 14, consider renewal of medical stop-loss
So there-
insurance for
there
Berkshire,
were no
with
changes,
Berkshire
and,
Hathaway and through Risk Strategies. Ms. Griffin.
The cost is the same.
Yeah, so there were no changes, and
Any,
the cost is the same,
we haven't
and we haven't had
claimed
any,
We only had one.
we haven't had any claims from what I understand. We only had one claim that was above our threshold in 2022.
Council, any questions?
So we only had one claim above 400,000.
Yes, sir.
Have a motion to approve item 14
Okay.
as presented. Council, any questions? Councilmember Haney, do I have a second?
No.
Second by Councilmember. I have a motion to approve item 14 as presented. I have a motion by Councilmember Haney, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Thompson, all in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item 15, consider renewal of contract for property insurance and excessive workers' compensation insurance, TML, intergovernmental risk. Ms. Griffin.
Okay. This insurance also includes our mobile equipment, the real and personal property, auto physical damage, and the cyber insurance. And the workers' comp insurance increases by less than 1%.
Of our workers' comp claims.
And I did a historical view of our workers' comp claims over 10 years. Generally, each year we have, for the past 10 years, not including 2023, we have, we average about maybe 100 to, maybe 100 to maybe 110 claims.
Ms. Griffin, you have anything else to add on item 15?
We did submit an RFP for this plan, but TML was the only group to respond. And the reason that this plan, but TML was the only group to respond. And the reason that they didn't actually extend their coverage beyond these items is because they consider their pool only for the smaller companies, cities, or whatever, because they don't do excess coverage.
Any questions?
So there's no excess liability.
No,
Are you gonna shop that?
not for this,
Not for this.
not for TML doesn't do that.
Well, I know that, but you can shop that separately,
Did the
can you not?
RFP for it, but they.
I'm sorry.
You can shop that
didn't
separately.
get any responders other than
Well-
TML, and we got one that was late.
We did the RFP for it, but we didn't get any responders other than TML, and we got one that was late.
So,
Okay. I understand that market's pretty tight right now anyway.
There's a lot of people pulling out.
Yeah, I know.
So, any other questions, entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have by Councilman Thompson, second by Councilmember Vasquez, all in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously.
And this is
Move
for
on
the
to item
excess,
16, consider renewal of public
coverage.
entity liability
And,
insurance with States
so we got the
Retention
renewal
Group.
for
Ms.
the
Griffin.
standard. Okay, and this is for the excess coverage. And so we got the renewal for the standard.
For this coverage.
And
Bought out the.
now there was we did have a broker for this coverage. MMA, I think, bought out the previous broker. However, because they didn't respond to the RFP, we're also requesting not to have a broker
Standard.
to save some money. And we actually talked with Standard about that, and they said they could help us move away from that as well. And I did inquire as to
Self-insurance retention.
why there would be such
And they
a
explained because of
high increase in the
they said
the self-insurance retention, the SR. And they explained because of the police shootings. So they said that everyone is increasing that limit.
Right now, the self-insured retention's $250, going to $1 million.
Yeah.
That's a $750,000 liability per shooting. No shootings, chief, please.
Harsh language.
Memo to follow. Let's hope not anyway. There's probably not much other help with that either. I don't guess anybody else is. It's probably pretty tough too.
Council, any discussion? Questions on item 16? If no, I will consider a motion for approval.
So
I have a motion by Councilmember Thompson. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Cornell. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Griffin, outstanding job.
Thank you.
The little time you've been here, outstanding. Thank you very much. Move on to public hearing. Open a public hearing to consider request for Blue Beacon Incorporated for zone change from FD Future Development District to Light Industrial District on Lot 2, Block 7, West Interstate Industrial Sites. We don't have Mr. Young man, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. My name is James Reber. I'm a planner with the City of Odessa Planning Department, and I am presenting this zone change request on behalf of the Planning Department.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. The applicant, David E. Johnson with Blue Beacon, is requesting a zone change from FD, Future Development District, to LI, Light Industrial District on West Interstate Industrial Sites 10 through 41, Lot 1 being 2.27 acres and Lot 2 being 2.22 acres out of Block 7, City of Odessa, Ector County, Texas. Property is located to the north are zoned FD, Future Development District. Properties to the east and west are zoned LI, Light Industrial District. And properties to the south are located outside of the city limits of the City of Odessa. The property involved in this request is located on the southwest corner of Interstate Highway 20 and South County Road West. This site is currently designated as FD, which is Future Development District, and is currently occupied by commercial development, more specifically a truck wash. The applicant is David E. Johnson with Blue Beacon, leasee, and the purpose of the original zoning request is to create light industrial development in this area. Using the city's identified priorities contained in the City of Odessa's comprehensive plan, to evaluate zoning amendments, the following comments are offered. Regarding comprehensiveness, this request is not out of line with the City of Odessa's comprehensive plan. The property is located near to LI, Light Industrial District zoning, which allows for industrial and associated uses. Regarding livability, the proposed zoning would not have a negative impact on this site or surrounding properties. The proposed industrial development is not out of line with development in the area. Finally, regarding reasonableness, the proposed zoning district will facilitate a reasonable transition between land uses of varying intensities. It would not create a conflict to the existing land uses in the area. The Planning and Zoning Commission gave approval of this zone change request on November 16, 2023. Therefore, staff recommends approval of this request subject to condition A. And we are now open for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a, when I saw this, I know it's a truck wash. What do we, we're changing the zoning to light industrial. What are the future plans for the site?
So the future plans are actually to build an additional building for that truck wash?
It's expanded.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
I thought I was trying to figure out, are we changing?
That's the Bay Area.
Yeah, it's a bay, yeah.
Bay 1 and Bay 2.
Yeah.
FD, future development, does not allow for that. It was annexed as FD. The applicant is simply zone changing it to light industrial, which does allow for that type of use.
That was Sam Gonzalez's property. The guy that owned the manuals, and he had been trying to unload that for a long time. Finally did, and this truck wash came in.
Yes, sir.
It was sorely needed. Okay, so we were expanding into lot 3, is that what that is? Or both lot 2 and 3, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Going to be developed in lot 1 and 2.
I don't see any type of traffic impact either. This is probably
Quick amendment, it's going to be developed in lot 1 and 2.
1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, lot 3, up 3, yeah. He's hiding over in the back. Any questions? The owners here. We can interrogate him if we want. He's hiding over there in the back. Interrogation? If we don't have any questions, it is a public hearing, and I'll open up. Seeing that, it is a public hearing. Any questions? Any interrogation? It's cold, they wanna get out of here. Okay, seeing that, it is a public hearing, I will open up the, item 17. Anyone wishing to comment can do so by coming forward, filling out a card, providing your first name, only your first name. you can do so by coming forward now. This is when we need elevator music.
And Christmas Carol.
Seeing that there is no
You
one
might
coming
have to have
forward, I enclose
Chief
the-
shoot you.
It's a $750,000 liability. Seeing that there is no one coming forward, I am closing the public hearing. Council, if there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion for approval as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Mata. Do I have a second by Councilmember Haney? All in favor indicating by saying aye. Aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Great presentation. Good job. We're gonna go on to resolutions. Consider the reappropriation of $950,000 for the certificates of obligation authorized by the City Council on August 13, 2019. Let me repeat that. August 13 of 2019. Use of funds for a sports complex. City Manager Bigman.
Okay, I'm gonna stick pretty close to the summary language so I get everything correct. On August 13th, 2019, City of Odessa City Council authorized ordinance 2019-30 for the issuance of City of Odessa, Texas Combination Tax Revenue Certificates of Obligation Series 2019 levying a tax in payment thereof, authorizing the execution and delivery of paying agent / register agreement, approving the official statement, section 3.01 of ordinance number 2019-30 states authorization, and A3, constructing, approving, equipping parks and recreational facilities, and the acquisition of land and rights of way in connection therewith, the reappropriation of the $950,000 from the certificate of obligation to the general project fund for the use of the sports complex. We can start paying the design bills that we're liable for on the sports complex.
This is a good use of the money. It's gonna definitely bring
Council?
in some beds.
Any questions or comments?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
This is a good use of the money. It's gonna definitely bring in heads and beds.
Yeah. It meets the criteria of the COs, so.
Yep. We looked pretty close at that just to make sure, and it does meet the criteria.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
And I also spoke to Glenn Opal, who was the bond counsel at the time, and he and I went back over everything. I think I sent y'all an email here several months ago, back in May, proclaiming we had good news and that after we researched it, it is good. We can use it for that because they wrote it in such a fashion that it was broad enough that we can use it for this.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So we're good to go.
Any comments?
I just wanted to make a comment for the record that we are not issuing new debt. This was old debt in 2019 that we are reallocating.
This is money in the, this is, so to speak, money in the bank. There has been some commentary narrative out in the community that this council is issuing debt for the sports complex. That is far from the truth. This debt was issued without voter participation in 2019. There was monies that were, this was part of, monies that went to the water treatment plant. And this council stopped the deviation of 1% of the overall debt for the water treatment plant to arts. Remember, this is where the, wedding venue was going to be. The council saw it that we're going to put it back into a sports complex, and this is to be able to pay exactly for design things that we're responsible for. This is certainly far more of responsible expenditures of these funds than a wedding venue at the water treatment plant, in my opinion. And so it's just for the record straight, once again, this council is not issuing debt, and this is thus why the series is 2019. This is by far anybody in this dais was ever here. Seeing that we've now got off my soapbox, I will entertain a motion for approval as presented to consider the reappropriation of $950,000 from the certificates of obligation authorized by City Council in August 13th of 2019. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Councilmember Haynes. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Cornell. All in favor indicating by saying aye. Aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. And one more step to reality.
That's right.
Item 19, consider authorizing the city manager to execute an engagement letter with Weaver to conduct an audit of Discover Odessa. City manager?
Yes, and this, basically, you can see the summary there. It's overall audit of 3 chamber departments. And I've asked Ms. Renee to be here tonight to answer any questions that may be around that.
We're
And
gonna
I
do this
breathed a
together.
big
This
sigh
is
of
the
relief
regular
when she
audit
walked
that we do
in.
each year.
Yeah.
This comes
Because
to
you're gonna
the
have to do it.
city
Yes.
annually. We're gonna do this together. This is the regular audit that we do each year. This comes to the city annually. The Weaver is doing the chamber audit. We have 3 departments: operations, Discover Odessa, as well as the economic development, which is Odessa Development Corporation. So this particular document is just, again, if you all want to have the Discover Odessa documentation report on its own, a separate department. In the past, you have received that. Odessa Development Corporation reviewed last month for the ODC to receive their separate report as well. So standard audit documentation for you all to review.
I believe in the letter it states estimates about 8,000.
Yes.
Okay. Council, any questions?
And Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Councilman Desk is free to vote on this because Monica is not a TV.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is a bittersweet thing for us, I'm sorry to say.
We're bound to have to use the word abstain anymore.
No, yeah, no abstain.
And that is a bittersweet thing for us, I'm sorry to say.
Yes.
Yes, well, and it gives you an
Council,
opportunity
any questions, any
to
comments?
have
Renee,
I
anything
think
else?
keeping them separate is
specific
wise.
to the department.
Keeping them
They are
separate
3
is wise.
separate funds. Yes, well, and it gives you an opportunity to have documentation in front of you specific to the department. They are 3 separate funds, but there are expenses that cross over. And then again, ODC will have a report on the Economic Development Department.
Any other questions? Move for approval? I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Swanner. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Thompson. All in favor indicating by saying aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you very
Have a good
much.
night. Be careful going home. Thanks, Renee. We're gonna move on to, item 20. Consider amending an expenditure budget source for funds of the Public Communications Department from the state capital franchise account. I was wondering why you were sitting in the back. Every time she's sitting right there, but now she's asking for money, so she goes to the back.
I was hiding for a little bit. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members and Mr. Beckmeyer. So franchise fees, hopefully you guys are familiar with the cable franchise fees. Of course, in the world of communications, especially in our department, we have been branching out and doing so many new things. So as you can see, it was what was on the agenda. Consider amending the expenditure budget source of funds for the Public Communications Department. So as you can see, it was what was on the agenda. Consider amending the expenditure budget source of funds for the Public Communications Department from the state cable franchise account. Funds are $250,000. There you go. So we would like for you guys to appropriate the franchise fees from the general fund. In case you're not familiar with it, about 1% must be used for capital improvements, which is what we've been doing in here little by little. We're making those steps to make this better. The goal is to get our cable stations up and running again. We have a lot of IT equipment we have to continue to work on. So lots of changes. That's what we like to say. Change is coming, especially in the world of communications. And so we'll continue to change, and we need these funds to continue to get bigger and better.
So currently, we don't have the public access channel going?
Correct. So Danny's been working on getting that with Domtech. So the hope is, like, for example, you got to see some of the parades that we did. We live streamed. In fact, our Parade of Lights had almost 13,000 views. The goal is to get that on our own cable channels as well. So not only are we streaming online, we also have our own cable channels, and this is part of it.
How long have the cable channels been down?
Almost 2 years. Yeah,
Dean
a
was
long
aware.
time.
The reason why I say this, noted, I made a point to address the city council after in 2007 it created the $1 donation program. Part of the contract and its responsibility is to provide those financial records and expenditures on the cable channel. It's in the contract. If the cable channel isn't up, it's a violation. So it's very important that we get those things back up, or we change the format in which I have to amend that contract of how it's reported. But it is contingent because prior to 2010, the city wasn't reporting those financials. Then it started expediently started doing so. But we have to have that access.
Yeah. And that's our vision. Not only are we going to have some of the commercials we've been shooting, we're going to have videos that we do on a regular basis. These live streaming programs, everything will also, it'll give us another avenue to get the word out with these cable channels. As you guys know, people are cutting cable, so it's just one other avenue. Social media, of course, is what our focus is, but we get these meetings on there, so hopefully those who don't have social media can watch it on our cable channels.
So how much is in that franchise account?
So in that account, I believe there's about 675,000 approximately, and so it's in the general fund, and that's where we're asking to appropriate some of those funds.
So John, are we assuming that that's gonna go down since more people are now live streaming? I would think that those fees might.
It probably will go down, but not in the short term.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I know there was
because even though more people are live streaming, the cable channels are still out there.
Yeah.
And they're still running. While Monica's up here, I hope y'all have been noticing the work that the communications department's been doing. The parade of lights, they went out, they got some mobile units, they went out and did really top quality on parade of lights, on
It was great.
Max's.
The Starbright Village tree lighting.
Tree lighting.
So
It was great, and we really appreciate this. This is just another step towards completing that plan.
And I have to say, my team, I was very impressed with them. Putting on that kind of production usually takes 10 to 20 people. Granted, it wasn't perfect, but definitely steps in that right direction. Mr. Bernal told me that cable franchise fee fund is about $900,000 right now. So it's grown.
Does this include the helicopter rides too for the city council?
City of Odessa
I'm not getting one of those things.
One day.
Monica, real quick.
Yes, sir.
What are our final numbers on the parade of lights analytics?
The analytics for the live stream was almost 13,000 views. But like Starbright Village, it was on that. Let's see what the numbers I can give them to you right here.
That's okay. You can get it. You can text it.
Yeah,
no, that's what I mean. Just
even the pictures on the Starbright Village tree lighting that had 1,700 emojis. I mean, so people are just really connecting with us, whether it's live streaming or just pictures, and these positive stories that we're telling in our community.
Okay.
That we don't get money for, by the way.
Good job. You've done well, and you've also done well in tracking down when you came into this position. That was one of your top goals, is to identify those franchise fees that we had no clue where they were at. And so any of the changes that prior had been done were coming out of different funds other than this, and that's what these are for. So we're putting the right monies in the right column, in the right places to be expended the way they were meant to be when they were collected. So thank you for doing this.
And Mr. Bernal helped me find that, so I can't take all the credit. I just kept saying, hey, can we find this money? And he helped me track it down.
Oh, so you tracked it down. So you just drove him crazy. That was it.
I just had to keep annoying him.
That was his honey-do list.
Yes.
Get it.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to add?
No, sir.
Council, any questions and comments? If no, I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of amending the expenditure budget source for funds for the public communications department.
So moved.
for the $250,000. I have a motion by Councilmember Vasquez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Swanner. Haney. All in favor indicating by saying aye. All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. All right, we're gonna move on to item 21, discuss and consider prioritization of City of Odessa projects to include the TxDOT 10-year Unified Transportation Projects. Mr. Joe Tucker, they're all a priority.
Yes, sir. Mayor, Council. Permian Basin MPO has asked us to prioritize our list of projects for the upcoming 10-year Unified Transportation Program. What you're seeing is the 5 projects that we've identified and are prioritized in this order. One correction on the first one, just for public record, is it's US 385 instead of 285. The first 4 projects are all on the loop. The goal is to create a freeway system on the loop with frontage roads to spur development on the loop. And these overpasses will do that. The 5th one being a new interchange at Fadre and BI-20. Mr. Walker, Executive Director of Permian Basin MPO, is here, and I think he's got a quick presentation, and if you have questions, I'm sure he'll be much better at answers than I am.
And sure a lot better than I would. But we need y'all to consider this because this is really, really important. We've got to get the MPO to pass a resolution so we can get these projects moved around a little bit. So I'd ask.
There's a display on your screen showing the location and the ranking, or the priority rather, 1 through 5 of what Joe just presented to you. Glad to be here. I am Cameron Walker. So what we will do with the resolution that you're addressing tonight is put it into our priority list, because we already have a list of projects for the entire region. What we're really doing here is really changing the order and providing some further description to projects that are really needed on the Northeast corridor, Northeast 338 corridor. It's been on our long-range list for several years now, and we use the term is used statewide. It's called upgrade to freeway. So the proposal is to upgrade the freeway from Yukon all the way around counterclockwise to US 385. So what we're trying to do now is put the money in place and create the priorities, because there's going to be, excuse me, 3 interchanges that are required along that entire corridor: 100th Street, 87th Street, Grandview. We know that Yukon just recently opened, and we know that 385 is already open at the north side. So there are 3 other pieces that need to go into play to make the whole segment a freeway, because you can't have a stop condition between 87 and 100, or 87 back down to Grandview and so on. It defeats the purpose. Well, number one, it wouldn't be a freeway if that were the condition. So what we're trying to do is allocate the funding to do this. And funding is not a discussion item this evening, but we really want to know your priorities on the order you'd like things to occur in. They're all, regret to say that I'm in the long-range planning business. That's what we do. They're all long-range projects. You listen to developers that come to you with zone changes. Generally, that's private money, and they can move as quick as they're possibly able to. We're not quite the same. We have to deal with timing for TxDOT, and in some cases, public hearings and things like that. So we don't get to operate as fast, but we feel like what we do is important to the entire region. So what Joe and I have been working on, and your representative, Councilmember Thompson, on reshuffling the projects, and Joe put the resolution in front of you this evening. We don't have a position on it. We think it's a great order for you to consider, and I'll be happy to address any questions you may have.
Council, open up the dais for questions or comments.
I have a question.
Yes.
How can you have a freeway when you have 2 lanes on 338 on the northwest side? That's not a freeway. That's a 2-lane highway.
None of what we're talking about is a freeway. You're right. But it's going to become a freeway. And what it's going to take.
You got to 4-lane the whole thing first. To me, getting the whole loop 4-lane opens up lots more. Traffic flow is easier, allows more growth in that area. Right now is you got it pinched down. You go from 4 lanes to 2 lanes and you're pinching it down. You're slowing traffic down on that side of town.
Well, before without getting off the topic, there is a plan that's already come out. They did the presentation where they addressed the whole thing.
Yes.
So, without going too much detail, is that they have finalized the design for the entire thing to become a true divided highway, 4 lanes with the median. After you get past I-20 and loop around to the south, it becomes easier. But that west corridor is going to have to move, and throughout the whole thing, it goes off center. You'll see it's very impressive. They've spent a lot of work to it, and they are addressing it. They do realize that that's an issue, and so we'll start moving forward here pretty, not too far in the future. We're going to start, TxDOT's going to come and start having a series of town hall meetings, and they're going to unroll the plan. It's impressive. You're going to like it. You're really going to like it.
You are gonna like it. And what started all this, Councilman Haney, is that we got funding for the overpass at 87th Street and service roads there. And so we gotta figure out how we're gonna spend the money, overpass first or the service roads first. We think the overpasses need to go in first so that people at Windmill Crossing, which broke ground today, and people from Windmill Crossing at 100th, and the people at 87, between 100th and 87th, can get out and be able to go north. Because right now, as it stands, without that overpass, they will not be able to go north. They'll have to go out on the service road or the loop, go south, turn around and come back. So when we got to looking at it, the funding's there. I'm asking, we'll ask Cameron to bring this to you, so you would know that that is the plan, is the 4 lanes. Everybody's real cognizant of that. But in priority-wise, it's going to be a while before Windmill Crossing gets open. And so what happens is there's more accidents down at 385 and 338 that need to be addressed first. So that's why Joe and I put together this plan to do that first, and then we'll back up and do number 2, which is 87th Street, and go that direction. So money's there.
The money is, some of the money's there.
Some of the money, yeah, right.
And the first project in the timeline is number 1. It's already in the 4-year window. And number 1 is supposed to let in May of 2026.
Right.
And TxDOT is not entirely finished with all their documentation necessary to put it out for bid. But that's a very important project that's been on the horizon for about 4 or 5 years now.
It's not gonna happen overnight, I can promise you.
I don't think any of us will be here on this earth when the thing is completed, so we're going to have to rely on the, yeah, I know, might as well tell the truth. I mean, this is TxDOT, and the dollars are competitive, and costs will go up, but the design's very impressive. It's a design today, but let me tell you, having something versus what we having nothing. One of the things is that, as a city, we also have to have shovel-ready projects, so that's just something, the task that we've asked engineering to start working on. That way we can start putting things on with the NPO and start putting them in the pipeline.
Yeah, Mayor, just a caveat onto that, that's one of the, people think that Midland gets more money from TxDOT than we do. It's about even. I've looked at all that. The difference is they have shovel-ready projects. So because they have shovel-ready projects, design-wise, they can move faster than we've been able to move. Because our engineering staff has not been able to do that. Am I right, Joe? So that's the problem. And so it's not that they get more money, it's just that more organized and ready to go than we've been. So that's why we need to get the shovel-ready projects ready to go, and this money, because of the severance tax that Austin collects out of our oil wells out here, has increased our budgets a lot, and they're gonna continue to increase. I don't know, Cameron, do you remember what Chairman Bugg said last Thursday? How much money we were talking about? I'm trying to remember, but
Yes, I do. Well, I do. The entire state was 141 billion over 10 years. And he said that the local district, which is Eric,
Yeah.
that you know, and the TxDOT district, was 800 million, I don't remember the number exactly, but they've doubled down on the Odessa district.
Yeah, he made the
Right.
comment that they know that our roads are getting beat up. So.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. So he's, I mean, that came out of his mouth, not mine, but,
And
so
Mr.
he's
Mayor-
aware of it.
Mr. Mayor, I'm glad you brought up that study, that TxDOT study of 338.
Yeah,
That's
so
an
that
important piece
circulation,
of work.
you know, we went down there on by 20 and saw it, and so it's impressive. And let me tell you, by the time that the budget starts coming out, it's already gonna be outdated. It's just the way, it's just the growth that's gonna occur. So, Joe, do you have anything else you wanna add?
Yes, one quick one, and to follow up on what you just said. The cost of getting in the business, the cost of building anything. In this document, which is the TxDOT 10-year UTP, which we're asking you to pass your resolution tonight for, the project number one is $23 million. Bear in mind, it's been in the system for a few years now. 5 years ago, 23 would have brought you an interchange. Now, it's gonna have to be 30, according to the TxDOT district. What we're gonna do, through Councilmember Thompson and other members of the board, we're gonna move the money, 7 million, into that project to bring it to 30 and make it whole and, if I may use the term, ready to go.
By May 2026. Okay.
Robert Peter pickpocket.
Well, we're taking, because we're gonna get extra money down the road, we're taking money from 56th and 338, which is working pretty good right now, and moving it over to.
Yeah, we're just moving it, and then it's when it comes in, you'll replace it.
Yes.
It's kinda like we did on 191.
Exactly, Mayor, exactly.
So, I get it. But we gotta pass this resolution from here to present to the board of MPO to get them to agree to let us do that.
Gotta get it in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yes, and your action of passing this resolution tonight is all you need for the board. We won't ask you for any other.
Great.
All right. Council, any discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve, as the Unified Transportation Program as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Cornell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Mata. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes.
Abstain.
Thank you very much.
Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Abstain.
6-0 and one abstention. I forgot you're on the board.
Okay, so now we've got Councilman Haynes.
5-0 to
Abstain.
You're abstaining? Okay. So 5 opposed, 2 abstentions. We're gonna move on to miscellaneous. Item 22, consider appointments of the deputy secretary. We're appointed deputy secretary?
Yes. So according to the, my mic does not. Section 1-6.
Okay, speak louder.
It states that. It states that. So according to the Code of Ordinances, section 1-6-4, it states that there, oh, there you go. It states that the recommendation comes from the city secretary to the city council to appoint a deputy city secretary. I believe all of y'all have met Stephanie Garay, who comes from the city of Roswell, who has 6 years' experience in the city clerk's office, which is equivalent to city secretary's office here. So I make that recommendation.
Council, any discussion?
What was the last name again?
Garay.
Easy
You
to
know,
use.
spell it?
Easy to use.
Correct. Okay. No, I'm just saying, well, the reason why is because somebody thought It was pronounced Garay.
Garay.
Do we have a motion for approval of Stephanie Garay for Deputy Secretary? I have a motion by Councilmember Mata. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Swan. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposing indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Appointment of boards, Ms. Aguilar.
Okay, for the Midland Odessa Urban Transit District, appoint Kaylee Banda, who would replace Brady Ross, who is, does not wish to serve as he is moving out of town.
I do say I have one for Mr. Rodriguez, but we'll have to do it in January.
Okay.
Okay.
And then for the Traffic Advisory Committee, Vern Dodd for Councilmember Mata's appointment.
And that's
For what?
Bryn Dodd.
Brent?
Yes. For the Traffic Advisory Committee?
Okay.
Instead of who?
Bryn?
Craig Stoker.
Bryn Dodd?
Yes, that is.
Okay. I have to get, Brady Ross is gonna have to come off this one too.
Yes, that is correct.
And so, I'm waiting, for, next month for them to fill out the application. They're gonna fill out the application, we'll just do it in January.
Okay. Those are the only two.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have, Keely Banda for, item A. So I need a motion for, Midland Odessa Urban Transit District, Kelly Banda, to replace Brady Ross.
So moved.
Have a motion by Councilmember Mata, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Swanner, all in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Traffic Advisory Committee, Bryn Dodd, to replace Craig Stoker, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Swanner, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Connell, all in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. All right, item 24,
I do have on D
Oh, you do?
for Parks.
Parks.
Parks, I was gonna nominate Ben Ford
Ben Ford.
for District 4, Councilmember Golden.
Council, any questions? If not, I'll have a motion for approval for Parks and Recreation Advisory
So moved.
for Ben Ford by Councilmember Swann. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Vasquez. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously. Any other appointments on any other boards? We move on to item 23, executive session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, section 551.074A1. We move on to item 23, executive session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, section 551.074A1, personnel matters. The city council may adjourn into executive session to consider the evaluation of applicants for positions of presiding municipal court judge, associate municipal
Mayor.
court judge.
Say 20, say 24. You said 23.
Item 24. I thought I did say 24. I swear to God I said 24. Can we,
Where's
review
the
the
red
tape?
flag?
Can we, yeah, can we take the, I know I said 24.
Throw the flag.
No, his hearing's wrong. Item 24, executive session. As authorized by the Texas Government Code, section 551.074A1, personnel matters, city council may adjourn into executive session to consider the evaluation of applicants for the position of presiding municipal court judge, associate municipal court judge, and consider salary positions of presiding municipal court judge and associate municipal court judge. Council, do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Swan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Mata. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay.
Leave the pen there.
Better safe than sorry.
Let me know when you got time.
That's my baby. That's me. That one, big one. But we're getting that little one, and it'll be with Fifi and Stanley.
Oh, that'll be good. That will be good.
Looks to be not like a baby.
Put a sweater on him. Have to put a sweater on him. What do you think? Huh? I don't know. Norma's about to come back out here. Yeah, they'll kick her out. Yeah, she's about to come back out here. Put the memos in there, let them sign it. I'm just gonna say, aggravate mine. Tell her so. Hey, you know I got that, hey, Nair, tell them about that Mexican bike dog I brought across the border.
The hairless one?
Yeah, the hairless.
I tell you, that was interesting. I just smuggled it across.
Smuggling Lizette was over at prosecutor's office, her cousin brought him across. Cost me $10 grand.
Wait,
He's a fighter.
let me see. Do you have a
I don't have a
picture?
picture on my phone. He's one of those, you can look him up, what's, Nair, how do you say, exotic, what is the word? Look at the Mexican hairless, that's what it is.
Look, there she is.
There she is.
Norma,
What?
we were just talking about my Mexican hairless fighting dog.
Mexican?
You know the one I brought across the border? Well, Lizette brought it, Lizette's cousin brought it.
What the heck are you talking about? I told him I'm getting a pug for Christmas, the last child.
Hey.
It'll be my third child.
I'll bring my fighting dog over and then fight your dog.
It's cold in here.
You thinking?
My back is hurting. I think I need a massage.
So, we have 2 dogs. We have so this is Penny, my current pug.
Danster. I meant to get some water and I forgot.
So they call it,
Huh?
kid man. Here he is, I go, Brandon.
You can't hear us, right?
No, you can't.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, check this stuff. She's so paranoid.
I'm so paranoid.
Why is she so paranoid, Dad?
What?
I don't know.
Cause she's born to be paranoid.
Yeah, you've been
Paranoia is the only thing you got in this world.
No, I check it. I go online, set up her window, plug my headphones into the computer.
You actually check it out.
Hey, you just go through all of this.
How did I do? Did I do good?
But you did excellent. Turn this on. You did excellent.
She's so pretty. It's 2 different things, so see,
But they do civil.
again.
So she must go work for it. Angie's company.
And then she wants the company to pay for her certification. Now she's gonna do the state certification. So she wants whoever she has worked with. Her is smart.
Then she's gonna go work for Caterpillar.
But girl, I wanted her to go work for SpaceX.
Oh, Lord. Get up and go. Get up and
Big mistake. Boy, that goes, there ain't no sunshine in that office. It's salty. It's salty. It's like vinegar.
We could Where's Stephanie gone? Yeah.
food, that's the only thing I've got. And then, right.
Yeah, well, you gotta come out of the executive first. Need a motion to come out of the executive.
Seeing there was no action taken in executive session, I'll entertain a motion to come back to general session.
So moved.
A motion by Councilmember Mata. Seeing there was no action taken in executive session, I will entertain a motion to come back to general session.
So moved.
A motion by
Second.
Councilmember Mata, second by Councilmember Thompson, all in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passed unanimously. We're back in, regular session. Council, I would like to, an item, let me get back to my agenda. We're gonna go for item 24 and 25 or 25?
I don't,
It's gonna be just 25, Mayor.
Okay.
And we do have the ordinance that y'all are going to reappoint.
Yes.
And so if you need it,
Yeah.
and then
Robert Martin for the presiding. Yes. Key.
On item 25, consider appointment of the presiding judge. On item 25, consider appointment of the appointment of salary, and the salary of presiding municipal court judge and associate judge. For presiding judge, Robert Martin, at the current salary.
142?
yeah, the proposed salary.
Proposed salary,
Do we
yeah.
know what that is?
Yes, we do.
Proposed salary of
142, 500.
142, 500. For associate judge, Keith Kidd.
And Mayor, I think y'all gonna do, we're wondering, we're trying to figure out the numbers right now.
We do 4%.
What he's actually being paid, so with a 4% increase.
With a 4% increase to
Of whatever he's making.
So move current salary as of this date. Council, I need a motion indicating by saying aye.
I so moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember
Second.
Vasquez, second by, motion by Cornell, all in favor. All in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay. Motion passes unanimously, correct? And so, I lost my, so you can. Motion passes unanimously, is that correct?
Yes.
Want to be able to introduce our associate judge for the next 2 years is going to be Keith Kidd. Congratulations, sir, on this item. Now, once again, on this item, because I had my microphone turned off, in case nobody was listening. For presiding judge at 142.5 will be Robert Martin. Presiding, Keith Kidd Associate, with the current salary with a 4% increase. So I want to be able to make sure that I have my microphone turned off, that everybody was able to hear that.
And Mayor, Mr. Bernal will go to HR, figure out how much, Judge Kidd is making, and then let,
Seeing that there is no more. Okay.
so we can plug in.
You can plug in the numbers.
And we'll have them ready to go for next week.
All right, sounds good. Seeing that there is no more, seeing that there's no more business before the city council, I have a motion to adjourn by Councilmember
So made.
Swanner, second by Councilmember
Second.
Vasquez, all in favor indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed indicating by saying nay.